This sode would not be possible without the support of our listeners, patrons, and sponsors. If you'd like to learn more about supporting the 3-Bit Gamer Show, check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/3BG. And a huge thanks goes out to our boss level patrons, Christopher and Patrick. It's episode 150.
So what?
So we should do a special intro.
Oh, really? Fine. Yeah, sure. I'll write one.
Okay. Hey, I'm Peterson, and I'm a dumb idiot. Hey, what the heck?
You want an intro for episode 150? You write it.
No, I don't want to write it. We'll just do this one.
You've just logged into the 3-Bit Gamer Show. It's the 3-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
This is Peterson.
And I'm Steph from Cutscenes and Cupcakes.
And we're here recording a podcast. I don't know. We'll get there eventually.
And welcome to the show. So with us today, we have special guest, Steph from Cutscenes and Cupcakes.
It's me.
If you remember, we had one of the other ladies from Cutscenes and Cupcakes on, Lindsay.
Yes.
And that was maybe in September?
Mm-hmm.
So it was last year sometime.
We've had people refer to us as the Cupcakes, and I'm still on the fence about that
The
one.
Cupcakes?
Yeah.
Tell me the pros and cons, please.
I'd rather call you the Cutscenes.
Right? The Cupcakes... let's not talk about women as foods, right?
What about the cut cakes?
The cut cakes?
I don't know about that.
Just squish those together.
Let's make a cut cake.
I want a cut cake.
sounds
First
dangerous.
start with a box
You sound
of
like
razor
a kid
blades.
saying it wrong. I don't like this.
And you sprinkle those in, then
What's-
you pour the stuff on top, and they bake around.
This is
the
what all of
razor
our
blade.
parents were afraid of in the 90s when we were trick-or-treating.
Don't go out on
Razor blade
Halloween.
candy.
You'll
At
get
prison.
cupcakes.
Anyway, but we can't call you the Cupcakes.
No.
Because that sounds like a 1950s businessman. Hey, Cupcake.
Get over here, cupcake.
And then hand on the ass.
I don't like that.
Let me see them soy cupcakes. Fuck, dude. Can't see that.
You can't say it.
Tell us a little bit about your podcast.
Cutscenes and Cupcakes is a game review podcast from 3 women, and we reviewing cupcakes. So we've been recording for about over a year now.
And you rate games
In cupcakes.
in terms of cupcakes.
Oh, the perfect system.
Which then we also then eat cupcakes. So.
And you review the cupcakes in terms of games? Like,
This
this
is
is
like a-
two
It is
Marios out of
something
Sonic.
we need to do.
This is a real anthem cupcake. It's filled with raisins.
What would be the top cupcake then? Like, what would be the top rating?
Oh, it'd be Tetris.
Yeah.
Okay. I can
Tetris
get
is
behind
like
it.
Just
the...
like-
Tetris
You
99?
could eat that cupcake for 30 years
Yeah,
and
like,
never
you
get tired
never
of
get
it.
tired of it.
Yeah.
That's a Tetris cupcake.
Live from the 3-Bit Gamer Show. The news. All right, our news this week is brought to us by Crave Cookies. I was going to say Crave Cupcakes.
Crave cupcakes.
They should get
You're
behind
up,
that.
Shreds.
Note to you, Trent. Crave Cupcakes, just saying. Crave Cookies is this awesome cookie, pretzel, and soda shop here in Salt Lake City. It's actually in Midvale, and they deliver. They have fancy, cool sodas, and they have a new cookie of the week. And guess what they brought back?
Which one is it?
The Lemon Bar.
The lemon one.
The Lemon Bar cookie
Fan favorite.
is back. So if you guys need to get some of that lemony goodness in your life now that the weather's warming up and the days are getting longer, check out Crave Cookies. You can find them on cravecookies.com. They're also on DoorDash if you live in their delivery area, which I do, suckers. All right, why don't you kick off the news, Peterson?
All right, so our first story, we had a story come in from a listener, actually, Adam Mills, who actually went to high school with. He works
right.
at Roblox.
Was he at the keg party he went to?
I don't think
Did
so.
he bring the kegs?
Yeah, he brought
He
kids
was
with
that
him.
cool kid.
No, so he wanted to get our thoughts. So Epic Games has hired a new president. And this guy is named Adam Sussman. Adam Sussman is coming to Epic from
Nike.
Nike.
Sorry, did I?
How
ruin
did you
the-
know that?
I looked it up because I wanted to be on top of things.
She's really into the business world. She really knows.
I know all CEOs.
Me and Adam go way back.
Sus.
Went to high school with him.
Sussy.
It's sus. They're tight.
Sussy. Get your ass over here, Sussy. We're playing beer pong.
You know Sus likes beer pong, too.
The suster.
Loves to boof.
Okay.
So Adam Sussman.
Wait, we don't know anything about this guy, and we've
Loves
created
to
his
boof.
backstory.
Fucking loves it.
He's got a backstory.
He has 3 kids and 2 dogs. That was
do
in
you
the
know that?
Yeah, that was in the article.
Like they
I
put
read.
that in the article?
Yeah.
This is like 2 truths and a lie with Steph. I have no idea what's real anymore.
Steph is lying. This is the lie.
Is his dog named
4
Boof?
Lamborghinis.
That's what his dog sounds like when he barks.
What
is happening?
Of college. Welcome, Steph, to the podcast. This is what it is 9 times out of 10.
First bullet point on the show note, and we've already gotten there.
What did Adam Mills want to know about Adam
Just
Sussman?
our thoughts about Adam going over to. So he did work for Zynga and
Disney for a minute.
Storied resume.
and Disney. Yeah, he was the chief digital officer at Nike, so like digital online sales and all that stuff. And now he's gone over to Epic to be the president of Epic Games. And so in his quick statement, he's like, I'm really excited to just go influence the future of video games at Epic. And I want to get your thoughts. Do you think Epic is influencing the future of video games?
I think Epic is drawing probably 50% of their profits right now from a single thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is skins in Fortnite.
50%?
Who better
That's more than that.
to manage your moneymaker than a guy who makes clothing for the last 5 years for a living? He's just coming on to help manage their Fortnite skins. Let's be honest, that's what the company is now. Epic Games makes Fortnite skins.
They were like, "Hey, can we use some Nike? Can we use some Nike branded stuff for?" And they were like,
Yeah.
we got to put one of our guys.
Oh, we got a
in your
guy.
place."
We got a guy for that. Yeah, that's all you guys do
Okay,
now is
look,
make skins
we'll let
for
you,
Fortnite?
but you got to take Sus.
You gotta take sense. Dude, he will not stop boofing
So
in the
much
office.
boofing
And he
is
won't even
going
tell us what
on.
boofing is. We just know it stinks.
I just see him at his computer boofing.
We don't like any of it.
I turn around, walk the other way.
He's boofing again.
So I don't know. I think honestly, I think Epic is a very conservative company in terms of the decisions that they make, and
I agree with
so
that.
except for when they're stealing dance moves from artists, but.
Yeah. Then it's no holds barred, like whatever.
Like I don't necessarily have a huge opinion on it one way or the other. Rather, my opinion is that he'll probably just come right in and they'll just integrate him into their whatever they're doing to make $50 billion a week on.
I don't think
Good
anything
Lord.
is going to change. I think literally nothing. At a company like Epic, I don't think they're looking to change. Like you said, they're super conservative. So what?
Well, and they're
can you
doing
do?
well with what they're doing, so it's not like they need to change too much.
Right. Like if a new CEO, if this guy went over and took over Activision Blizzard, yeah, it'd be a talking point because it'd be like, well, Activision Blizzard is struggling right now.
Yeah.
They have turmoil, and so how will he right that ship, or what's his plan? But for Epic, it's like the ship is already like on a
Just
set
keep it
course.
moving.
Yeah.
Keep it moving.
Like, what can you do? I
what
don't
can
know.
anyone do? You know what I mean?
I think it's going to be interesting to see how he manages EGS, the Epic Game Store, because that's
And
going to
maybe
be
that's-
his biggest thing.
Maybe that's the big piece of it.
And maybe
he'll do.
maybe he had, I don't know Adam Sussman as well as Steph
again,
does.
so I-
But
Me and Sussy.
I think if he has experience working on Nike's like online,
I think that's what he was
space,
doing. That's what he was doing.
Then that's going to be huge.
So
Because
that's what he'll be doing. You think?
I imagine that's
Yeah.
the only big initiative they have right now.
Yeah, they got to get.
They
that
took
thing
all
back.
their Fortnite cash and they dumped it into the like smartest enterprise they could, which was a store that they managed and owned. And that's when he's taking over. So I imagine that's what he's there for.
What other big games does Epic do?
big games.
Well, they used
Or
to do Gears of
games.
War, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know what they do.
I don't know what they do anymore because they just have refocused
Fortnite.
so much on Fortnite. Yeah, you Google Epic Games and like the second thing that comes up is Fortnite.
And it's like, oh, you want to buy V-Bucks?
I mean, they do have the Unreal Engine, which is huge.
Yeah, that's their.
Which is why it makes sense for them to have a store, because they have already integration in so many games. But I really don't think they have been doing a lot outside of Fortnite.
Once
Gears
Fortnite
of
blew
War
up.
and Unreal.
So it's funny, whenever we talk about Fortnite being so huge, on the day, do you remember this, JD? Of course you remember it.
Mm-hmm.
The day that Fortnite Battle Royale came out, we had Epic Games.
He's the worldwide creative director.
Donald
Wow.
Mustard. He was on the show.
Wowza.
And they didn't know it would be this big. They
Yeah.
they thought it would be big, but they didn't know
the day
it would
they
be this
released the Battle Royale, they were like, yeah, it might be good.
big.
It might be cool.
Yeah, we'll see. Like, we like it.
And then we're like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
And now it is what it is.
Now
Yeah,
it is what it
they
is.
didn't know.
Now
that
they're not returning our phone calls.
I know. I wonder why. Let's move on.
'Kay.
We've got another one. This is my favorite. Sonic movie opening is breaking all sorts of records, and the biggest one, it is the biggest video game movie opening of all time.
Wonderful.
There was a World of Warcraft movie, people,
Yeah.
and this whomped that.
Did you see that though?
No, I heard it's terrible. No, I just mean, like, because I get, like, the overall gross is a different animal, but the day one...
Like a hedgehog animal.
Is an animal. Is an animal. I don't know, some kind of animal, like a hedgehog.
Too quick for me. My brain
Or,
is like, what?
I know, JD froze. He was like,
What the hell is this girl talking about?
Yeah, I think on that day one, that opening is like very indicative of how strong the IP is, because that's like look at the latest Star Wars movie. Everyone freaking hated it, but its opening was enormous. It was massive.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I think it's really impressive that it beat out World of Warcraft. It beat out these
It
bigger.
beat out Detective Pikachu,
That's unbelievable.
which people were really excited for.
You know what it is? It's coming out on that hot Valentine's Day weekend when everyone wants to see
People were just
a
like,
hedgehog film. That's I don't know. I'm just so stoked that they went back to the drawing board and
Fix that shit.
I think that's what it was. I think it
People
was
felt bad.
I think it was all the inadvertent marketing that they got for it
So much
because of the
Yeah.
outcry and then the fix. I think people were interested and engaged in a way that you don't typically get in like a brand new movie from an old IP, but like, you know, it was kind of an unknown quantity. It wasn't Star Wars,
Right.
that everyone just, whether
You
it was
just
good
go.
or bad, they knew they would see it.
yeah.
Right.
And I think that it's going to be a lot bigger than it is now because have any of us seen it here?
I'm seeing it tomorrow.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. So I'll be seeing it next week. You'll be seeing it later.
I'll
I'm
take
sure.
at least 3 kids
with your kids. And so I think it has a decent tale that if it had come out and people were like, oh, you know, it sucked. That opening weekend, it bombed and had some reviews. You wouldn't have anyone else going. But now I'm like, I have to go see it
gotta
because
go
it's
see
so
it now.
big.
Yeah.
And so now its sheer size is going to increase how many people go see it. I mean, they're probably going to make a sequel for hell's sake. That's crazy.
I heard Jim Carrey does phenomenal in it, which is just
I've
so
heard he's the highlight.
funny. Like
I know, I heard that too.
the
Wait.
villain of the game in the movie, and it's not a big movie for him, but
Well, and it's been
Act his
6
heart
You know, it's been
out.
6 years since this is like him coming out of his like unofficial
So
retirement.
yeah, he had like a retired and said he was done. And then
Sonic
and
got
then
him
a
back
few years
up there.
later they were saying
They got him for Robotnik, which is the
I'm gonna do
last
Sonic.
person I would think for Robotnik, but I hear he just kills it. I'm so stoked. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it too.
and James Marsden, he's like the dude that's in all the random movies,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah,
I like
he's
him.
not like he's no one's favorite actor, but you see him
No.
in all sorts of stuff.
Unless you're like a huge Westworld fan.
But even then, is he your favorite in Westworld? Like he's a good. I don't know.
Has anyone watched past season 1 of Westworld?
JD did.
How dare you?
Oh, sorry.
He liked it.
Sorry.
I tried.
Fifth
I did not
rewatch.
like it at all.
What's wrong with you people?
I don't even
Ugh.
think I finished this season 1.
I wasn't
Sorry.
into the second season at all. I watched like 3 or 4 episodes and I was like, I don't like this.
I didn't know I was surrounded by idiots. All right, let's move on before I get too triggered.
Westworld season 3 announcement looks interesting.
Yeah, it's coming out next month, and if you guys say any words, we're just gonna be done. All right, so this one is Half-Life Alyx, as you guys know, is coming out next month, and it is just a quick reminder: all of the Half-Life games now are free on Steam until it comes out. So if you want to play a Half-Life game, now's the time to do it. But the index, the Steam index, or is it the Valve index?
The Valve Index.
The Valve Index is still sold out everywhere. This is $1,000 VR headset. and it's sold out everywhere.
So, like, right after they made the announcement, it sold out in, like, 2 or 3 countries, right? Mm-hmm. And then within the next month or so, that's when they started saying, we're out. Like, we don't have any more.
No, we're, like, out.
And it's, like, this is the top tier. This is the Ferrari, the current Ferrari of VR headsets. This is as good as it gets.
It's not cardboard over your, like, phone.
Over your Wii.
Yeah.
No, it's really, really great. It's $1,000.
And don't forget to mention you need probably at minimum $1,000 PC to actually utilize it.
So how much is it?
Well, with everything all told,
Like if you were starting from scratch right now and you
like
really wanted to play
$2,500 for Half-Life Alyx. It's the most
Yeah.
expensive
Good
game
Lord.
you've never played.
Yep.
But yeah, they're still sold out, and they're going to be sold out forever because they're going to launch them again, and they're going to sell out immediately because the second reviews start rolling in for Half-Life Alyx.
If the reviews are good at all, people are going to be
Everyone will
clamoring
need
again.
This.
Yep.
Ugh. If there's one thing PC gamers can do, it's like prioritize components over like literally anything else they need in their life.
Well,
Myself included. I am not passing judgment. Like, I'm right there with you guys.
I know PC gamers who tax return,
Yeah.
bonus from
Straight
work.
to the
They're
index.
like, okay, well, here I go. I got to drop all of it on my computer upgrades.
Well, people are worried about how expensive PS5 is going to be, but PC gamers spending so much money on them.
That's the funny part. Consoles, they're like $500.
Oh, that's
and you're
ridiculous.
Like, oh, that's my graphics card.
Yeah, I was going to say, that is half of my graphics card. Cool.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
cry
yeah.
more about your
Yeah.
PS5 being $500. This next one, I love this. I absolutely adore this, mostly because of how mad people are getting.
People are mad about it?
Oh, no. People are livid
What?
about
Really?
this. Yes. So the DICE Awards, which are essentially the Academy Awards of video games because they use the Academy. The Academy is a collection of a bunch of movie industry insiders, producers. You know, it's a couple tens of thousands of people that they all get these screeners and then they all vote. It's the same thing with the DICE Awards. It's 12,000 industry voters. They're everyone from a journalist to a game developer to a game artist, like all these people. And so it is an industry thing. And they voted the game of the year last year for 2019, Untitled Goose Game.
Incredible.
It was my game of 2019.
I think it was a lot of people,
It's
including
so
these developers' games of 2019. And people are big mad online. People are like, because it was also, so I have to be transparent. We'll read the other guys that were along. Oh, no, hold on.
It wasn't my game of 2019.
What was?
Oh, that's such a hard question.
I feel like 2019 wasn't a very strong year for gaming.
No, there was a lot of
Don't
good
fight
stuff.
me.
There was a lot of good stuff. I think maybe my favorite game that was made in 2019 that I played was probably The Outer Worlds. I loved it just from start to finish.
Don't listen to our episode on the Outer
Oh,
Worlds
you guys
then.
didn't like it?
I have thoughts on it.
I loved
It's-
it so much. But Untitled Goose Game is probably my feel-good game of the year. I just enjoyed it. It was a joy to play. I loved the ending. I had fun. Like, my kids had fun watching me play it.
It was just so surprising that it was so lovely.
Yeah, it was funny and fun. And
So here's the nominees for this year. It was Control,
Okay.
Death Stranding, how dare you, get out of here. Unless it was like the worst of the year. Disco Elysium, Outer Wilds,
okay.
and Untitled Goose Game.
Wow.
So I think a lot of people were... Okay, so of course there's the Death Stranding stands who are just like the craziest people you never want to meet.
Yeah.
So let's just throw them off into some weird bucket.
We
But
know who they are. We're not interested.
we don't want to hear how much you love Death Stranding. Fuck off. It sucked.
We know you peed
Have
on
you
Conan's
seen
house.
the
We don't care.
PlayStation controller that you can have the baby in? It's yellow, and then there's a baby's face sticking out of one of the
Oh my
handholds.
gosh.
It's horrible.
Game of the Year. Game of the Year nominee.
I kind of want to just forget about it. That it
Can
exists.
you play other games with the baby peripheral? Because I'll do that. Just not Death Stranding.
Death Stranding forever until you die.
Every game has a baby in it now.
Yeah. And it just... Ugh.
Game developers
Oh,
are just
no.
mad.
So Outer Wilds, I'm actually really interested in. I still have been meaning to pick it up, but
I have too.
I think the big one people got hung up on was Control. So to me, it was a battle between like a classic video game that really, kind of bends and defines a genre, which Control did as a 3D Metroidvania with some awesome super. Did you play it?
No, it's on my list for sure.
Okay, good, because
it is my next game.
Yeah,
I think
I loaned it to you.
Yeah,
right?
I have it.
It is astounding. It is like in terms of like feeling like a superhero and being like that smooth combat that you see in the Marvel movies with Iron Man, or with I'm thinking flying combat that's like really chained together.
Yeah.
So like Iron Man or Captain Marvel or these people that they're just so fast. You felt like that in the game, and the design, the story, everything was really incredible about Control. So you've got that against Untitled Goose Game, which is it's just way outside the box,
Which is like a 4-hour game where you're walking as a goose walking around.
Yeah, and then I think a lot of the arguments were like, well, there's been games like Untitled Goose Game. It's like Goat Simulator. It's like all these other games. And so I think that
it's different than that.
Yeah, so I think people were just grumpy because they either didn't get Untitled Goose Game or they just thought Control was better.
Well, I would say Control. If I had to pick, I would say Control is better. It's more involved. It's a much bigger experience. There's more to it in complexity.
But in terms of something,
but it's just not as like. It's not. It didn't make waves. How about that? Untitled Goose Game made waves, and people talked about it. Control, people talked about as like, this is a good, fun game that we had a good time with.
Yeah,
but
you have to look at the
Game was
impact.
different.
It became a cult following for sure.
Yeah.
And Disco Elysium looks way cool, but it's only released on PC so far. I'm really excited to play it when it comes out to console. But I think that had a lot of hindrance on people actually getting to play it. If you're not a PC player, you're not going to play that.
And I think that kind of a similar thing happened last year. And if you want to get really mad, last year's DICE Awards, they awarded God of War. And up for that, at that time, was Return of the Obra Dinn that I just played. And I'd say it was game of the decade. Like, in terms of just like shattering expectations of video games. And so I think I would switch those if I had a preference. And
Did you play God of War?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I loved
well
it.
then-
No, I think it's
okay,
amazing.
okay,
Trust
okay.
me. But I just think that's a fun contrast. Is like the
Those games could
outside
not
the box
be any
game
different.
versus the within the boundaries of a normal game, but very revolutionary. And so it's kind of I'm stoked.
I think I loved Untitled Goose Game because I'm not a violence person, which is hard not to find in gaming.
How do you like Wolfenstein?
Oh my god, it's so bad.
You missed out on the first one because there were some moments.
I think we're gonna play
right
that
at the
eventually.
beginning.
But
the
to
dog.
have something
And
that's
the end,
just so
the very end.
simple and not like gruesome, it's just different.
It's
and I
pure.
like that
It's
it's
something-
very different than what we've been offered before.
I think what you just said, what we've been offered, like what has been.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so next up, this one's funky fresh. Activision Blizzard Games. They just announced they're removing. Well, NVIDIA announced that they are removing their.
So GeForce Now released officially, and then a week later or something like that, Activision Blizzard pulls their games from the service. So those games are no longer part of the GeForce Now package.
And do you know the cause of this?
I don't.
Okay, well, let me tell you. So it's Stadia. I got
Stadia.
bounced for saying it wrong.
Yeah,
Phil,
you
how do I
did.
say it?
It's
Phil.
Stadia.
Oh shit, he's not on. Okay, so Stadia has laid claim to Blizzard games. I think because GeForce Now was unreleased and in beta, they're like, whatever, we'll just leave them on there, whatever. But now it's released, and it's either a breach of contract or otherwise. But let me tell you, dude, it is an insane and incredibly cynical business move from Activision Blizzard, because what they are choosing is they're removing their games, they're removing their catalog from GeForce Now, which is a service that their gamers would use and have been using, their players have been using, to move to Stadia for that fat paycheck,
the money.
that Google paycheck. And the best part is this is just like one more way that Google can like siphon off more money and dump it, just shove it in this fucking rat hole called Stadia.
How do you really feel?
Have you listened to a few of our recent episodes?
We not fans of Stadia.
I just love that Stadia is like so intent on bringing everyone else down with them by just throwing money at them. They're like, come on, jump on the sinking ship. At least you'll be rich while you drown.
The caviar's great.
The caviar's great. Ooh, it's a little wet now. So yeah, that's the move. And what's going to happen is that there will be, I think we're moving toward, because they're already hosting all their games on Google servers. That's something they've been doing for a while now. So this makes sense. Their infrastructure's there. They're already there. The idea that, we'll just throw these all on Stadia and it'll be great. And then everyone can play. And then we can announce Google and Blizzard and we do everything together. But I don't think it's going to work because Stadia is already trending quite a bit downhill. And so good luck, I guess. This is just,
I would have played my Blizzard titles on a different device via GeForce Now. I'm not going to get Stadia. I'm just
Doesn't
not.
it sound appealing to get a free-to-play Blizzard game, or hell, a Blizzard game you already own, like Overwatch, and then pay Google so you can play it? Why is it not appealing to you? I'm in. Where do I sign?
How much is it?
Can I get a 5-year contract? Yeah, so I guess good luck. Enjoy going down on that sinking ship, Blizzard, because you've already got your own.
They're just waiting to release their mobile games.
Dude, and that's why when I call this cynical, that's what I'm saying. It's not even future looking. The guy that signed off on this, or the guy that approved this, is like, sweet, I'm going to look great because we are going to have quarterly profits increase from that fat paycheck we got from Google. Who cares what happens the quarter after that? Who cares what happens next year? Who cares if anyone is even playing Blizzard games, or if the company itself exists in 2022?
They're just trying to keep that cash rolling in.
I will make money this quarter.
Well, they're trying to keep it rolling in until they release their mobile titles. Because look, we know they're going to make billions on their mobile titles. We know it. They know it. If Call of Duty Mobile is any indication. Did you hear about the numbers on that?
Crushing it, right?
Call of Duty, the franchise, they said they have 6 million players. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what they get from Call of Duty. Call of Duty Mobile had 10 million, right? And it pulled in more money. And so they're just like, yeah, I guess we're just going to keep doing this. And that's Activision, right? Mm-hmm. And so... yeah, they can't wait. They're just waiting till they can get their mobile game out there.
I can't wait to see Diablo 4 announced as a Stadia exclusive title.
Oh my.
Guys, look out, it's coming. I'm stamping it right now. Diablo 4 Stadia exclusive.
I'm going to blame you for it if it happens.
Good. I want everyone to suffer. Everyone gets to suffer. All right, and then the last thing we've got. So, you guys know we love Riot Games.
Riot Games, big fans.
They are now officially Riot Games with an S because I guess they've been Riot Games for about a year now. Their third title they're working on is an unnamed first-person shooter game. And some details have emerged. They invited, I believe this guy was a professional CSGO player.
Yep.
And they invited him to view what they're calling Project A. The A
Project
is for asshole. Just kidding.
Project A has been around for a long time, too. This has existed within Riot for years and years and years. This isn't brand new, like within the last couple of years. This is 7 years, 8 years old.
And what else does Riot make?
League of Legends.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Girls aren't allowed on that.
Well, you wouldn't know about it, right?
My daughter's not allowed to go near that game. I'll tell you
Sounds
that.
like a great game for us all to play.
So I wanted to be pessimistic. I was so excited to shit on this, but I don't know. We'll see. So here's the skinny. It is a 5-on-5 tactical shooter, not unlike CSGO, Counter-Strike.
Round-based.
Yep, and then it's more tactical, so instead of the arcadey Call of Duty where you're just running and gunning or doing these things and it's wild and people are jumping everywhere, it's much more calm and collected. There are a few abilities in like the same way that this guy compared it to Overwatch, but I feel like he should compare it to Rainbow Six Siege. This sounds a lot more like Siege than it does Overwatch.
But the abilities are probably more on the like superhero side than Siege would be.
Right.
That's what I think the difference is.
And so the one thing is you have to, this is very League of Legends, you have to purchase your abilities and weapons before the match. So
like in their shop, in the before pre-match shop.
And there's I think this is similar to CS:GO. One, like the bullets are bullets. Like if you get shot in the head, you die. I think you can probably get shot in the chest twice maybe and then you die, so it's not going to be like you shot 5 times in the face and then you lay down and you get back up, and then they've also focused quite a bit, it sounds like, on map design, which is the biggest benefit and the biggest thing that people love about CSGO. So if you guys haven't picked up on this, it's very clear this is a very esports focused product. It is.
Sure. I mean, that's been their
because you think about the map,
right?
You think about the balance, and then you think about the aspects of buying your stuff before the match to counteract a team. Possibly if you're playing a best of 3, this plays really well because you have the first game, and then you buy and build to counter the things you saw in the first game. So it's very interesting to watch. There's a lot more strategy and tactics that goes into it instead of just having a basic loadout when you go play.
I'm just thinking about how much fun Untitled Goose Game 2 would be.
And she's like, but that goose, though. Got to get more bells.
There's a whole town full of bells.
I bet they put up another bell by now. I'm going to go get it.
I think that this is, it to me seems like they're chasing a trend. They're chasing multiple trends.
So
they're chasing esports, which I got to be honest, seems like it's trending down.
Well, like it seems like that, but then I read reports that say esports is pulling in a ton of money. I think a few esports are pulling in all the money.
Right. And so if you're going to make a game that's targeted at esports, which is the exact same thing they did with League of Legends and it worked, you've got to make sure to have the fan base and the players. I think they really are trying to just like siphon off all of the CS:GO players that haven't seen a new game in a minute. I don't know. I'll give my positive and negative are in the same vein for this. He did give it like a pretty glowing review. And this guy said, Riot didn't influence this at all. He said, but this has been the most interesting game I've played since CS:GO. Yes.
However, I will say I didn't love CS:GO, and CS:GO has a huge barrier to entry. And so that is, I think, the audience that is being captured here. This is a new game. No one's memorized all the maps and how to shoot you from all the different places, which is the problem I had trying to get into CS:GO.
Well, yeah, because it's been out for 8 years now.
Yeah, well, and I tried to get into it, and it was like everyone was already way better than me.
Right.
But this is a new title, so it does plus and minus, right? I feel like there is an audience to capture. These games are still going very, very strong. CS:GO, Overwatch are still very popular. However, I will say I think the popularity of them has declined. Mm-hmm. So their challenge is going to be, how are they going to make this interesting? Because if we go into it and it's samey or, it just doesn't feel that fresh, well, you're just going to go back to the game that you've put 1,000 hours into. I'm going to go back to Overwatch. I'm going to go back to CS:GO, right? I think that's their biggest challenge, and I am interested in this game. I am going to be watching it as closely as I possibly can because A, it's Riot doing something finally, but B, like, how are they going to really do something interesting in this space? So I don't know.
And I think you can have a really, really well built. One of the things you talked about is how smooth the combat is, how well it plays. That doesn't seem to matter quite that much these days.
That matters if your game is good.
That's what people said about Apex Legends, and that had a huge spike, and people were like, this is awesome, and it's so great, it has all this stuff to do, but then, like, the next thing came along, and people were like, oh.
Well, they were like, yeah, but I'm really good at Fortnite still.
Right.
So, like, some people found their niche in Apex.
Yeah.
Right? It's not dead by any means, but
if you're gonna spend
it didn't
7
kill
years
Fortnite.
on something.
It didn't kill anything, right?
Yeah, it better be good.
So,
anyway,
I feel like a really lame guest right now because I have nothing to add on this. Like first-person shooter games, how original.
Yeah. Well, I think that's my thought too. It's like
it doesn't seem they're chasing. Like I said, everything they're doing is chasing a trend. First-person shooters, esports, CS:GO, 5-on-5, like all of these things
It doesn't sound original,
Does not.
right? So we'll see what they do.
All right, so this is the last bit of news we have, and we want to try something new and funky fresh. So we're calling this fake news rage.
Okay. So how this works is JD has curated a news story
That hopefully Peterson hasn't seen.
I don't think I have because I didn't look in the last couple days. And no matter what, I have to get mad about it.
You have to gamer rage because you
Join me, Steph.
Okay.
Join me
want
in
you
the
guys to
dark
get
side.
so mad about this. So here's the headline. Activision subpoenas Reddit to identify Call of Duty Warzone leakers.
Wait, say this again.
Activision
Yes.
subpoenas Reddit to identify Call of Duty Warzone leaker. Do you want me to tell you more?
Yes, please keep going. But I'm getting there.
So the idea is that there have been leaks posted on Reddit of the newest Call of Duty game, which is called Warzone.
Okay.
And they've posted things like a few screenshots, and Activision is very not happy about this. And so they have been subpoenaing Reddit to try to get whoever the user's information, his IP address,
So they can send a private investigator over to their house.
and bust his knees.
Okay. This isn't even hard. Okay.
I know.
First of all,
low-hanging fruit for the first
you said
one.
Activision, and like,
I'm already pissed.
so if the rage meter goes up to 10, I was like at a 6 already, 6 or a 7. And then, okay, Activision is seeking. Okay, first of all, what's the game called? It's called Call of Duty what?
Warzone.
Exactly. I know nothing about this game.
But you know everything about the game already because it's Call of Duty.
Well, yeah, right?
That's a good point.
But these guys on Reddit posted some screenshots. And what, are they afraid this has ruined their game now? Ruined the surprise? It's Call of Duty. There's no surprise. This is the first I'm hearing about it. Nobody cares.
Nobody
You
cares.
are not going to ruin anything. What is it, a first-person shooter with some guns?
In spring, how original.
Come on. Nobody cares. And they're
Activision,
subpoenaing.
you're so big. Like, who the hell cares if someone leaked your poor game?
Hey, spend your money on your company because
I'm
you
doing
guys
something
suck
better
right
with
now.
your time.
Hey,
Yeah.
hire back some marketing people because guess what?
Sussy. Yeah, get that sussman
Sus
on
over here.
this.
Why isn't Sus on it?
So here's the thing. They're so blind. The optics of this are so terrible because Activision hasn't had good PR for a decade, it feels like. Everything they do is scumbag. They're just terrible from start to finish. And this doesn't help. They have to know this doesn't help. Right? These guys
they
are
seem like
idiots.
assholes.
I hate Activision. Why? These guys. If you work for Activision, please hit me up and let me know why. I want to know. Because how can you work there and feel okay about yourself? This place sucks from start to finish.
With the glass ceiling broken, all the oppressed groups shall prosper, especially the most oppressed group of all, gamers.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that went pretty well.
The
Like I
glass-
said.
the glass ceiling of gamers that's
Yeah.
been crushed.
Yeah. Thanks, Peterson. Thanks for breaking
Golly.
it. All right.
Something nutritious, outrageously delicious. Kudos on yours, I'm yours.
All right, kudos is our positivity segment, so we can kick it up a notch. So we like to give a shout out to something we love.
Yeah, we went negative. Now we're going to go back positive.
What you got for us, Peterson?
So, have you guys seen or heard of the show Lego Masters?
I've seen it.
I've seen the premiere.
I haven't seen it. Yeah, I've seen like the
The commercial. I haven't
commercial.
seen it. Yeah,
Guys, you got to watch
Is
it.
it so awesome?
heard-
So we're 2 or 3 episodes in now. I haven't watched episode 3. It might not be out yet. I think maybe it's out tomorrow. It's so good. You guys, it is the perfect reality show. There's none of this like the perfect reality show is The Bachelor. We know
right.
that.
Okay.
But this is like
Ew.
Steph.
Oh my God, the first impression rose.
Steph, okay, just quick FYI, we are huge Bachelor fans.
Titties and ass. Titties and
Big
ass.
bachelor heads.
I spent Batch Boys.
Oh, let's call this the Batch Boys. That is awesome. Why have we never done that before?
We're the Batch Boys.
Fucking Batch Brothers.
I'm
Batch.
gonna leave.
So, okay. Sorry, this isn't a segment of Bad Bot Store. If you're not familiar, Lego Masters is a Lego building competition show, reality type of show. The MC or the host of the show is Will Arnett, who does the voice of Lego Batman, right?
Oh,
That's
tight.
why he's doing it. It's fun. It's fun because he's got this weird challenge of like keeping the show interesting. Because while the subject matter is interesting, there is this huge build time, right? Because they give these teams of 2. There's a theme, and like the first theme was amusement parks, but they had to make the segments connected, so all the teams connected to make one giant amusement park. They had to make a big theme, and something had to move. They had to have something move, like that's like with a motor on it that they're moving, right? And but that takes a long time to build, so they have like okay guys, you got 14 hours to build this. And so the people start designing and building, and he's like making jokes the whole time. But look, the kids watch it with me. They're obsessed with it. The last episode, they had to build a space-themed thing, and then they drew ways that it was going to be destroyed. So he was going to break it with a baseball bat. They were going to drop it from the second floor. They were going to blow it up from inside.
Okay, don't spoil the whole episode. Jesus Christ.
Well, that's not spoilers.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what that was like. What they did. That was the theme of the episode.
Okay.
So that's what they do. It's just fun. It's so much fun. These people building these things are not who you would think they are. Almost any of them. Like if you'd picture, you'd be like, oh, it's a bunch of like 27-year-old nerdy dudes.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
No. There are some of those, but like it's a good mix of people. Incredible what they're doing with Lego. It's awesome. If you haven't watched it, you got to watch it. I'm watching it on Hulu.
And how many episodes are there?
So like I said, I think episode 3 is releasing this week.
Okay.
So it's the week we're recording. So by the time you listen to this, episode 3 is out.
Okay.
I like how American game shows are kind of going more towards like Great British Bake Off feelings.
Please.
Yes.
Because the thing is Netflix knows the data on how many people have binge watched their way through that.
Well, and then have you watched Making It with Amy Poehler and
I've watched it, yeah.
what's his face?
Ron Swanson.
Nick Offerman. It's
Same
so
thing,
tender.
just chill,
Yeah,
tender.
They're just cute.
Guess what? We are all super depressed because we live in America.
We need happy
Quit
things.
shouting at us and give us more
Gordon Ramsay, back the fuck off.
Yeah.
Well,
give us British Ramsay.
Yeah, no.
Not Americanized
Yeah,
Ramsay.
Ramsay.
No, that's the thing. We need Master Chef Ramsay.
Junior.
And
Junior
we
Ramsay.
don't need Hell's Kitchen Ramsay.
Yes.
Right?
I have a very quick shout out. This one goes out to Jenna, my lovely fiance. She has become quite the 3D printing master. The other night, I got a bug up my ass that I wanted to make biscuits. I didn't know you could make them just homemade. There's like 5 ingredients. It's supposed to be super easy. And I got all the recipe, I got the ingredients, I got the stuff I needed, and I'm going through the recipe doing one last check, and then I get to the very end, and it's like after you roll the biscuits out, you have to cut them. And I was like, I don't have a biscuit cutter. So I turned to Jen and I said, will you go 3D print me a biscuit cutter really quick? And like some cyberpunk movie, she just did it.
The problem-solving skills at your house are both phenomenal and terrible at the same time.
I know, right?
JD, just use a glass.
Oh, yeah, I know. But
like everybody else.
But the cyberpunk option was way cooler.
Yeah. She's like, the steam engine kicks on, and she's like putting on her goggles. Give me 24 hours.
It's like a Rube Goldberg device. She starts it with a marble. Like, here we go. The tightest shit ever. Anyway, hey, we have one more.
But Steph, did you have a kudos?
I sure do.
Okay.
I'm just going to no caveat. Birds of Prey. Have you seen it yet?
Is
I
it
have
tight?
not.
So good. So good. Don't believe all the like little fuckboys who say it's stupid and that the girls aren't hot, because they are so hot and it is so badass, and some of the violence in it is so ridiculous that I had to close my eyes. So
Tight.
good. It's so good.
Tight.
Yeah, so the reviews that I've heard have been, like, of course, super mixed, right? I've heard that it's very comic booky feeling. I have heard, though, the action scenes are incredible.
I feel like they need to get a award for the choreography for the fight scenes. It's really good.
I think I'm going to like it because I'm an odd duck that I was like, I didn't dislike it. I wouldn't say I loved it, but I was okay with Suicide Squad. I was like, this is alright.
And I didn't really finish it because I think I just wasn't that interested.
I was in it for
finishing
the action though. And so if the action's dope,
But here's my thing about it.
Okay.
I'm not into, like, I don't get it. I don't get the whole, like, being into the Joker and Harley Quinn situation. I'm not really into that at all. That's not the piece of Batman that I like. And so I don't get the fascination. And so I'm not really stoked on this movie. So I'm glad to hear from multiple people that it's good.
have I shared? Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, I'm not into the Joker part, but the Harley Quinn part, I think it's like the anti-hero-ness. They compare her to Deadpool in this movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I love that comparison, but she is like anti-hero-esque, where she's badass and kind of evil, but in a good way. Like, does good things.
Yeah, she's not like a good person.
No,
right?
not a good person.
It's like Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah. I think, yeah. Did you guys know, by fun fact, I have a fun Harley Quinn fact.
Okay.
You know she's not from the comics?
I think I read that like recently.
You know what she's from?
Oh, she's from an animated series.
The animated series. The Batman animated series, the one in the 90s that everyone adores, and it's
was so
absolutely
good.
flawless, literally invented Harley Quinn.
Yes.
And this entire, like, universe that is spawned from her, now she's in the comic books and the movies
so
and everything
funny.
else, just came from some random one-off that they'd thrown in there for Mark Hamill's Joker to play off of. So cool.
So good.
Yes.
All right, and we have
Let's
one
do this
more.
one.
Yeah.
We had one a couple weeks ago. We got an email from one of our favorites, Daniel Jenkins, who's just incredible guy. So he said he had a recommendation, and I said, no, this is a good kudos. So he said he's been watching on Disney Plus. Jeff I'll just read it. Jeff Goldblum has a show. He goes around exploring trends and things in an effort to understand them himself. First off, I'd watch it just for the sheer fact you get to see how much of a nut he is, which is true.
Yep.
Goldblum is crazy.
My favorite.
100%.
In a good way. He's not.
Yes.
He's not like who's it? Nick Nolte or what's that guy, the crazy?
Well, Nick
guy's
Nolte
name?
is crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he's not that.
It's not
It's
Charlie Sheen.
It's not Sheen
Jeremy
crazy.
Renner.
Where has Charlie Sheen been?
Google right now while I read this.
Okay.
He said, "Okay, so
Sheen Watch 2020.
it's super entertaining no matter what.
No one cares.
There is a particular episode where he explores the world of gaming. It's unbelievable, but it totally highlights the gap between people who know games and those who just cannot understand them and why people would even want to play them. I think you guys would get a total kick out of it." So great recommendation from Daniel Jenkins. I haven't checked it out yet, but it's definitely on my playlist. And so Jeff Goldblum, it's called what's it called? I don't think he actually gives us the name. Jeff Goldblum Explores the World.
I think something like that. I've seen
is.
it on the Disney Plus main
Right.
page.
Everyone's seen
Never
it, right? It
clicked
pops
on
up
it.
right at the top.
The world according to Jeff
See?
Goldblum.
That's pretty much what I said.
The world according to Charlie Sheen is that vaccines are bad for you.
Of course.
So we can just write
Oh
that
no,
dude
he's
right
not
off.
crazy. He's no. Oh, real quick, last minute kudos
Yeah, tell that to smallpox.
to vaccines.
to vaccine.
Oh, you can't because it's gone.
No, I was going to give JD a quick kudos. He had recommended Togo on Disney Plus.
I don't know. what
I'm
that
not
is.
kidding. Just watch it, guys. It is
I
good.
did not oversell it.
It's good from start to finish. I don't have a dog. JD loves it because he has the dogs that are represented in the movie. I'm not kidding. My mother-in-law, she wasn't interested. She was sitting with me on the couch, and I just turned it on. She was like, whatever, I'll just, because I'm sitting here. By the end, super invested. Both of us. It is a very well-done movie. Just don't. Look, I don't care if you don't like dogs. I don't care if you don't like feel-good Disney movies. Just watch it. It is good.
You like ugly crying? Because we got you. You will ugly cry.
Yeah, the end will get you for sure.
All right, and we have a voicemail from a listener. You guys know that you can always call in and leave us a voicemail. We love hearing from our listeners. If you go to our website, 3bitgamershow.com, there's a big green button, and you can leave us a voicemail. It's easier on your phone, but you can also do it on your computer if you have a mic. And
Yeah,
a
don't
way
try to
call us-
leave it if you don't have a mic. That doesn't make sense.
Well, you can. We'll just feel sad when we get a big, long, empty voicemail.
Blank voicemail.
And also, this one does not come with a name. So, guys, if you leave us a voicemail and you want to hear your name, otherwise, we love anonymous voicemail. So this one comes from Anonymous.
Hey guys, what's up? Hi. So
Hey.
I am listening to you guys right now talk about NVIDIA's streaming service. You're giving it a lot of props. Now, I have converted people from NVIDIA's streaming service to a different streaming service called Shadow. All right? Check this out. It's called Shadow.tech. That's the website. You can go there. You can check it out.
Shadow.tech.
I'm going to tell you up front, it's like $35 a month. But what you get is you get a virtual machine hosted in one of their data centers with a full Windows 10 installation, and you can stream this Windows 10 machine to any device. So what I do is I have my Apple TV, and I have an Xbox controller connected to my Apple TV, and I've been playing Jedi Fallen Order off my Apple TV at 4K. This Windows virtual machine, they've got P-Quadro 4000, right? Hooked up to it, solid state storage, and if you've got a decent internet capability, you can stream games at ultra with no lag.
Wow. Unbelievable. And I did look it up, and he's wrong. It's not $25. It's currently $12.99 a month. There's a special.
Wow.
You go to shadow.tech. This is literally, seriously, huge kudos to our anonymous listener, because this is really cool. I've never heard of this before. It basically just builds a virtual machine for you. Hell, if you wanted it to just use, I don't know why you would use it for anything other than gaming. Maybe if you wanted to use Photoshop or something, I don't know. But just $13 and you just basically get a virtual machine hosted on their servers.
Huh.
It seems way simpler than GeForce, right? Because at that point, you can do anything. You can play anything. You can do whatever you want.
Yep.
You can use Microsoft Word on your Apple TV. It doesn't matter. But it removes the complications, and you could play Blizzard games on it if you wanted, because if they're on your PC on this virtual machine.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Why have we not heard of this?
I don't know. We have not vetted this. So if you guys go to shadow.tech and it downloads your entire machine and then breaks your computer.
Yeah, don't blame us.
Porn.
Yeah.
Was
You're all on a list now.
Wait a second. This guy didn't leave his name.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure he runs this site and he's trying
just
to steal
collecting
your information.
Yeah, don't click any links on the site. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds dope. I
does
will
sound
have
good.
to. We just had that come in, so we will have to look into it more. But shadow.tech sounds pretty promising.
Don't play no reindeer games with me.
This could be a reindeer game, I guess.
It is a reindeer game. We like to play some games on this podcast, and this one is one of my favorites because I came up with the name and I absolutely adore it. It is called Two Deets and a Deceit.
Two truths and a lie. That's what it is.
Two gaming details.
Where's my drink? That's
and
what
a deceit.
I want.
Yeah. Take a shot of dew.
Oh,
Get it
okay.
wrong.
You are Mormon, aren't you?
Yeah. We're gamers. That's what gamers do.
Okay, so this week's Two Deet and a Deceit theme is moon logic. Are y'all familiar with moon logic?
Obviously.
I just barely found out about it because what was it? Was it you? Did you post something? Someone posted something in our Discord. I think it was you.
It was me.
It was you.
Yeah, it was me.
Okay.
This whole thing is based on that thing I posted, so I hope you didn't read it too much. But
Absolutely
so
did.
Here's a quick definition. So generally speaking, puzzles in games make some degree of logical sense. For example, if you encounter a locked door, you would expect to find either a key somewhere or something like a hairpin or a lock. However, sometimes the solution to a puzzle makes no sense, or at the very least, only makes sense to a person that coded the puzzle itself. This is said to be an instance of moon logic, a brand of logical deduction that has to have originated in the mind of an alien being. So this is like, I don't know. I can't think of any examples that aren't in my Two Deets and a Deceit, but I think we've all experienced this. I have a good example. So here's one. So in the game Myst, do you guys remember Myst, the point and click adventure game?
No.
So Myst,
if you weren't playing PC point and click adventure games back in like
90s.
1991, then you missed it.
I was a 1-year-old.
Yeah,
there you go. So there's a puzzle in this in Myst. There's an elevator, and the way you get from one side of the elevator to the other is you have to actually go in and click the down button, and then move quickly out of the elevator, and it goes down, and then you can go through.
Okay.
However, in the game Myst, this is the only puzzle in the entire game that relies on movement. The rest are just clicking
like
things and seeing things and timed. Yeah, so you have to get the timing right. So nobody obviously thought this was a thing because
that
it's
game
like,
was hard.
Yeah, so that's Moon logic where you're like, well, why? There's no established reason for me to believe this would work. So why would I do it in the first place?
Okay.
And these early games, you obviously didn't have the internet, so you had to call the Sierra Online helpline at $10 a minute.
Or we would just have you'd have to get your mom to drive you to the bookstore
Go
so you
look
could
at the
find
Prima
the
guide.
Yep.
The Prima guide that's already dog-eared because so many kids flip through it
yep.
because no way was your mom going to buy you that shit.
Well, yeah, what's the point of buying it? Like, you'll use it 3 or 4 times, and then once you've beaten the game, it's like, I know the puzzle.
Yeah.
I don't need this anymore.
Thanks for being my library, Barnes & Noble. So here's so we're going to start with, I have 4.
Okay. He
So
thinks
3 Deets and a Deceit.
Well, so 4 different rounds.
Different
Oh,
rounds.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our goal is to find the
Deceit.
deceit.
Okay.
I will read you all 3.
JD thinks he can beat us.
I think I'm going to womp you guys.
He's not going to beat us.
Going down.
I have 2 Pokemon ones. Do you want them both back to back, or do you want them split
You
up?
be the game master.
Okay,
You're
I'm
the
game
DM
mastering.
here.
We got a warm up. This is random. This is a grab bag. All right. Maniac Mansion has so many ways that you could die randomly that it resulted in an internal LucasArts policy dictating that there are no longer deaths allowed in their adventure games.
Okay.
In one part of Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, there is a secret, yet mandatory elevator that is only accessible if you crouch over a dead body you're supposed to honor for a suitable period of time, which is 5 seconds. And in Leisure Suit Larry 2, the only...
Oh, yeah.
Peterson's bread and
Give me
butter.
some of that Larry.
The only way to get off the plane is if
Yeah.
you remembered to bring an obscure pamphlet to distract the guy on the plane next to you, and you had to have searched a plate of food earlier in the game for a specific pin, and bought a parachute from a vending machine earlier in the game.
Okay. So I think the Larry one's true.
Okay.
I think the first one is true. If not, they are perversions of the real truth. So I think the deceit is number 2. The
body. That's so dark.
well, but that does sound
It's
like something.
Castlevania.
Okay.
That is something that you would do in one of these games.
Is that another game only old people have played?
Most of these are.
Which game was that?
Castlevania 2,
Castlevania
Simon's
2.
Quest.
I've played all of these, by the way. Every single one of them. I think you perverted the truth on one of the of A or C, but I do know there is some truth in those.
Okay.
So I think. Hold on. What do you think?
I was gonna go with 2. That was my first.
Okay, so here's how we beat JD.
Okay.
We actually split our votes. So you're gonna go with
Rat
2.
fuck, you
I'm
can't
gonna go
do
with
that.
A.
Hey, there's no rules here. Wild Wild West.
we did not establish any ground rules. So
I'm
it's
the
A.
Will Smith
A.
in this game.
Wait, A is the deceit?
Yeah.
The Maniac Mansion LucasArts policy?
I know that they do have a policy. I don't know if this game drove the policy.
Okay, and Steph, what's yours?
B.
Steph,
2.
Steph is correct.
Woo!
Way to go,
Yeah.
Steph.
It was a perversion of the Castlevania thing. By the way, that Leisure Suit Larry thing, what the hell?
No, so these point-and-click adventure games, you saw this a lot. One game that this pissed me off to no end because we didn't use the guide for this. Normally, we had like one of my buddies, my best friend's older brother, had beaten like all of them. So we'd call Jacob. Jacob, we're stuck, and he would give us the
Yeah, and it's just some
he'd get us
crazy
there.
ass shit.
Right, but we played Return to Zork, which we loved.
Right.
Such a fun game. But literally the second thing you do in the game is pull out a knife and you cut a plant. Right? Just get the plant and cut it, right? So you have this plant now. Well, it dies. You need it like so far later in the game. And what we found, we're like, dude, it's dead. What are we supposed to do? You're supposed to dig it out instead of cutting it. And so we had to go back to the start and do it all again.
That's what a lot of these. Yeah, so you
Yeah.
get all the way to the plane in Leisure Suit Larry.
This
and if you
happened
hadn't
a
done
lot
all
in
3
these
of those
games.
things, you can't get off.
Do you think the developers got off on stuff like
I
this?
think so.
Yes.
I don't know. Well,
Yes,
I love
the
that they
answer,
got. I
Steph,
love that
is
they got
yes.
that the LucasArts guys are like, okay, that's enough. That's bullshit. You can't make a game like that anymore. Okay, next up, this is the King's Quest category.
Okay.
King's Quest 4. Working on my Roman numerals.
How many are there? Was there 3 of them, or is it?
What do you mean? How many are there?
We said 3 or 4.
You need work.
You said 3 or 4.
In King's Quest 4.
Got it. I've played that.
There are multiple times during the game when you need a rope to climb out of a cellar.
Okay.
However, if you enter one particular dungeon with a rope in your inventory, a jailer uses it to tie you up, and you will die in the dungeon if you don't also have a knife in your inventory.
Okay.
King's Quest 5. Early in the game, you encounter a cat chasing a rat.
Yep.
If you don't scare the cat away, the rat is killed and can't save you later on in the game, and you lose. In King's Quest 3, the only way to climb a certain mountain path without dying is just sheer trial and error and counting keyboard strokes.
Okay, so for real, though, I know the third one is correct. Because
I didn't know you'd play King's Quest.
All of them. So I know the third one's correct.
Cheating!
Because here's in this game, you are captive to a wizard, and he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go on a journey. Don't go anywhere," and then he disappears. Mm-hmm. That's your window. Your only window is when he's gone, and there's even a little timer for when he's gonna come back.
Yeah.
If you're not back at the house, he'll find you and kill you. Oh. So you have to be back at the house. Or if you have stuff in your inventory that you're not allowed to have, there's like forbidden items. If you have to hide them under your bed. If you haven't done that, done. You're out. So
like your dildos and your
anything
the
that
forbidden
you
items.
hide under your bed. Yep.
Your weed,
the standard stuff. Your weed, your dildos, and your cigarettes.
Your cigarettes and your dildos. I don't know if those are like in the same category for me.
You reach under your bed at night, and it's just a grab bag of what activity you're going to be doing.
Like getting high or getting off.
You just throw in like a deck of cards just for the hell of it.
Like, damn it, now I'm playing solitaire for the 3rd night in a row.
You ready, baby? Just kidding.
Shit.
Time for hearts.
They're those nudie cards, though.
Right.
But like the only way to get down is honestly this harrowing path that, okay, when you're playing this game, it's not point and click. This was keyboard. Mm-hmm. And so you're seriously counting keystrokes. Okay, so I know that one's true because it was the worst part of the game.
Okay.
I've done that path hundreds of times. Okay, so the cat and mouse, what was the first one was?
You got to have a rope. You have to have a rope in your inventory for most of the game, but if you have it during a certain dungeon and you don't have a knife, you basically lose.
That
doesn't sound so that obscure. Like, honestly.
I think what he changed was the knife. I don't think you have a knife. I think it's probably like a
switchblade.
No, what? The King's Quest. This isn't like Street Quest.
Street Quest.
From the streets.
Detroit Quest.
He's going by
West Side Story Quest.
West Side Story Quest. West Quest.
West Quest. I'll
Wait,
put that on the
should
dock.
be a thing.
We need this game right away. Point and click dance adventure.
It sucks. Everyone hates it. And then the other one was
the mouse. I think it's okay. Which one do you want to go with?
I'm gonna go with the second one. B again.
Okay, I'm gonna go with A. I think B. I think if it's A, it's because it's not a knife.
I hate this new strategy, by the way. I don't appreciate it, and I really
you got real cocky. You got real cocky.
No, I don't think
JD.
you guys get to collaborate anymore. You are all playing in a vacuum.
Okay.
Yes. You said A.
Yeah.
You were correct. I screwed up on the knife. I made that whole thing up.
Oh, did you?
The whole damn thing. I was so proud of myself, but I
It does
tripped at
sound
the
like
finish
someone
line.
would be.
You should make some mindfuck games.
Yeah, I
He's
guess
like,
so.
you don't
I
get a
don't
lot
wanna.
of bladed weapons in these games.
How was I supposed to know that it's called King's Quest? How does the king maintain his kingdom if not for the blade?
You're not well. Usually,
Dance.
because you're better than the
Okay,
Jets.
okay. No, Steph made a
on
good
now.
point. A king that dances his way to the throne is a king you do not fuck with.
Game of Thrones dance style.
Is this still recording? It's like the king's like, I'm coming. Some challenger comes for the throne, and the king just like throws his thing down. He's like, someone put down some cardboard.
All the romancing scenes are the twerk.
Yeah. Yes.
Are you sure? Because it should have a red dot, right?
We're good.
All right.
Card full.
That's what's
That's
going on. Okay, so the next two are Pokemon.
Okay, this time we'll do it. We won't cheat on JD. What we'll do
Okay, we'll combine efforts.
is we will just say on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, and we'll just say our answer.
And you have to accept it.
Deal. Okay, Pokemon.
Because we're pissing JD off.
It's so easy. In Pokemon Sword and Shield, the only way to evolve Yamask is to make sure it's taken at least 49 hit points of damage, and then you must walk under a completely random bridge in the world where it will evolve automatically.
Okay.
In Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, Spiritomb can only be encountered by talking to a random NPC to get a certain object that would then be used on a structure on another route. Then the player must use the underground mechanic to meet 26 other players, which is local only, so you could use the same person 26 times to make Spiritomb appear. At that point, you can catch him. In Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, Regigigas can only evolve if you've given it a certain nickname that is not alluded to anywhere else in the game. The required nickname only makes sense in Japanese and is seemingly random word in English.
Okay, so it's Yamask being only evolved
if he's taken 49 hits of damage and he's under a bridge. Spiritomb, you have to talk to an NPC to get a certain object and then run around in the underground and meet 26 other players to even see him. And then Regigigas, you have to give him a certain nickname that makes sense in Japanese but is nonsense in English.
Okay. Do you have your answer?
I'm ready, yeah.
Okay, I'll say 1, 2, 3, go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, A.
That is so funny. No, it's C.
It's
Oh,
C?
damn it. That was
Yes,
my other option.
Because this is so insane. So I bastardized the one with Regigigas because that was kind of it. Regigigas does have an insane way that you get him, but it's not that way. Like, it's unbelievable. This Yamask thing, this 49, apparently like the numbers 4 and 9 in Japanese also mean something different, and that bridge, the name of it means something in Japanese, but 49 obviously does not have a correlating meaning in English. And so like it really ended up being, but they built that mechanic into the game.
Wow.
There's literally no effing way you would have found this on your own.
Yeah, if as an English speaker.
And it's not that they
no
have
way.
49 or less damage remaining. It's that they've had it taken from them. So you got to be sitting there doing math to make sure. Okay, so the next one, Pokemon 2. These are simpler. In Diamond and Pearl, Inkray will only evolve if you're holding your DS upside down.
What does DS stand for?
I don't know.
Your D.
Whoa.
S.
Oh.
Woo! Saved it. In Black and White.
Wait, where were you guys going with this?
I don't know. In Black and White, the only way to encounter Alcremie, the whipped cream Pokemon, is by twirling your character 6 times on a random tile that changes every 24 game hours. Finally, in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, to evolve the very weak Galarian Farfetch'd, you have to land 3 critical hits in a single battle. However, most Pokemon that are weak enough to actually battle with Farfetch'd are knocked out by a single critical hit, making it almost impossible for you to discover this on your own.
I think it's important to point out we're all tied right now. So this is
the tiebreaker.
The final countdown.
Really?
Steph has a point. I have a point. You have a point.
We'll always have to do 4. That's a good call. Best of 4.
Okay. Best of 4.
The thing
First time it's ever happened.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's see. Okay, the first one was... So read them quick
okay,
one more time.
Diamond and Pearl, Inkray will only evolve if you're holding the DS upside down. The whipped cream Pokemon, you have to twirl your character 6 times on a random tile that changes every 24 hours. And Galarian Farfetch'd has to land 3 critical hits, even though it's an incredibly weak Pokemon and it would get killed by anything else. But if you land 3 critical hits on something it can battle, it'll knock it out.
Okay, so which one is the lie? Hold on. Okay, got it.
I do too.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3,
B.
A. I said A, she said B.
Steph is our winner.
Steph got
Yes.
Steph is our winner. That was kind of stolen from. There are some crazy ass things. There are certain things, Pokemon, that you have to catch by being on a specific tile in like an area, and it resets if you leave and you come back and you won't find the random tile. That thing with Inkray works on the Switch too. So if you try to evolve it,
why I guess that one is because I didn't know the DS had any sort of motion sensor.
Yeah, so they carried that over to the Switch. So you basically turn it on upside down. It's like, bam, your Pokemon evolves. So probably if you throw your Switch on the bed, your Pokemon might evolve accidentally.
Wait, how did that happen? What did I do? You're recapping the last 24 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what we're throwing under the bed as well as our DS?
Oh, actually,
DS is a contraband item in King's Quest 3. So you have to hide under the bed from the wizard.
It does have internet access, so you never know. All right.
You might get access to those lectures that you've been wanting to see.
I read them for the articles. Dear Game Devs, it's been nearly a fortnight since I last wrote. Mother is well and much has changed back on the farm, but I have just one request of you. All right, Dear Game Devs is our segment we like to talk to the developers listening, all thousand
the idea men who are listening.
Look, all the dice voters listen to this podcast. We know it, they know it, you know it.
Yeah,
that's why Goose Game won.
Yeah,
so we clearly have a very important, influential voice, and it's our responsibility to talk to all these developers. And so the news that came out last week, or the week before, and we just covered it last week, that Disney with their gigantic
the mouse
catalog of IPs now has opened up the doors to the Disney Vault and said, "Hey, all video game developers in the universe, have at it.
If you want to do a Disney IP, come talk to us. We're opening it up. Original stories. Let's do this."
Can I just kind of want to do this real quick because I want to go through a couple of the franchises. This is the Wikipedia page category Disney franchises. Franchises owned by the Walt Disney Company. I'm just going to bomb through these, and you guys cut me off when I've said too many.
It'll take us 20 minutes.
Alien, Anastasia, Avatar, Casper the Friendly Ghost, Deadpool, Die Hard, Fantastic Four, The Fly, Hills Have Eyes, Home Alone, Ice Age, Independence Day, Kingsman, Lake Placid, MASH, Napoleon Dynamite, Percy Jackson and the Olympians.
Wait,
Planet
did you say Lake Placid?
Yes.
Say no more.
I know. Revenge of the Nerds. Ew, we can pass on that game. Christ.
Jesus.
I don't need to see a rape simulator. 28 Days Later, and let's see, what else do we have here? Indiana Jones, Monkey Island, Maniac Mansion, all the Star Wars titles, 21 Jump Street, American Horror Story, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Family Guy, Futurama, Simpsons, Glee, Prison Break, The Practice, Modern Family, Malcolm in the Middle, Goosebumps, The X-Files, Beauty and the Geek.
Everything.
Firefly.
All of it.
I mean, they have access to everything, and they have asked game developers to come to them with all of their ideas, and we want to make that easier for you lovely game developers, so we're just going to tell you which ones to focus on.
I freaking loved Beauty and the Geek when it was on.
I'm telling you, man.
It's so good.
Would you like to see a Beauty and the Geek video game?
A Beauty and the Geek.
A dating sim, perhaps.
So
I'm not sure if I need that, but
I picked one that was less obscure, because you could literally pick anything at this point.
Yeah, anything I read. Anything. Yeah, I wanted the listeners to know, like, the pool we were selecting from is so deep,
and I didn't go that deep. But I'll let one of you guys start. Did you have one, Steph?
Hell yeah!
Oh yeah,
Squirrel Girl.
Squirrel Girl.
Yes.
So you
Like,
went
where has that? Why
you went for the comic book route,
dude?
Yes.
And it's fucked up that she didn't show up in the MCU to help against that.
She still can.
Well, and she's so cute and fun, and then
and
badass.
oddly powerful.
Yes.
Like, she has expressed some very, very high levels of power.
If you're unfamiliar with Squirrel Girl, what do you guys know about her?
She is a superhero in the Marvel Universe. Mm-hmm. She has powers of the squirrel,
which are unlimited.
Yes.
Obviously, squirrels are extremely powerful.
Anna Kendrick has been in talks to voice her.
She would
or
be
play
perfect.
Her. I think so.
Yeah,
as
she would
well.
be a great Squirrel Girl.
And I think it'd be a cute, like, T-rated video game. It doesn't have to be gruesome or gory. It could just be fun.
I'm trying to look at her powers. Superhuman strength and agility.
Here's the fun thing about Squirrel Girl.
Sense of smell.
She looks like a squirrel. She has buck teeth. She has a giant tail. She literally looks like a squirrel. But one of these gags that goes on in all of Squirrel Girl's comics is that she defeats these enormous villains off screen. So like Doctor Doom and Deadpool and Wolverine and MODOK, and she just beats the shit out of them, and you just hear about it. You never see it.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, and like
wait,
people are
what?
kind of like scared of her. She defeated Thanos, of course, off screen. I just think it's
best.
so amazing.
How have they not alluded to it then, at least? You know what I mean?
She saved the world from Galactus? I don't know, dude. This chick not
That's
being
incredible.
in the MCU is a travesty. Like, I can't believe it. She would
they
a game
gotta
like
do
it
it.
would be so funny. I love a game where every boss battle it just fast forwards through and then you just go back to playing the base game. It's like a superhero game. You fight all the baddies, all the mobs, all this stuff, and then it's like this giant freaking boss and they set it up and the health bar just keeps going and bigger and bigger.
It
and
just
then
says like a poof cloud. Poof, 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 poof.
and then
cloud
Squirrel
fighting.
Girl's just standing on top of Thanos, and she's like, "That's how this works."
She's like, what is it? Like the scrolls do, just getting
Yeah,
rid
she's
of everything on her paws.
yeah.
I love that.
That would be so. What would that game even look like, though? So we've got is it a fighting game? Is it a?
It's like a classic comic book game, but all the bosses are auto win.
Or it could be like a high school simulator, and then just like every once in a while she goes off to fight a battle.
She's just like a normal girl.
Just like a normal girl. Puts on her little squirrel suit, goes and does her thing.
I
She's
would
like,
love
"Ah,
her.
shoot, hold on."
I'd love her as an Easter egg in a Marvel game where you have to unlock her and then whatever, and you've beaten the game already, and then you can go play through the game as Squirrel Girl.
That would be
But she
awesome.
automatically just wins all the
Yeah,
bosses.
no, she
and you
needs-
know how hard the bosses are because you already beat the game.
She needs to be like an unlockable
Yeah.
that you can use once.
I think
Be like,
she
we're
was
gonna
in-
call her in, and she's just gonna
Be that would.
she's
be-
gonna win this fight for us real quick.
Is she in Lego Marvel?
Can you just
Yes,
imagine,
she is.
like Iron Man, Captain America? You know who we need? Squirrel Girl.
Yeah.
They're
Why
just
didn't they
getting
recruit
beat up,
her?
and they're like, they look over and they're like, Cap, you know what we got to do? And he's like, no, it's too embarrassing. I don't want to
can't.
do it.
I don't
He's like,
wanna.
we have to. The fate of the world.
Depends on
And
Squirrel
so he just
Girl.
reaches in his pocket and pulls out like a little thing,
Like an acorn phone.
and just clicks on it, and it like sends a signal,
Yeah,
kind
'cause
of like
everything is squirrel themed in her shit, like
everything.
over the top squirrel themed,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, this is pretty good.
And so it has the little like search bar is like just the little
or a little
nuts going
squirrel
across.
comes. He has an acorn in his pocket. A squirrel is summoned to get it and
Yeah.
take it to her.
He holds out an acorn.
Amazing.
A squirrel runs up
Amazing.
and gets it and takes it. And then she shows up. Hey guys, what's going on? He's Cap's on the ground bleeding, shield broken. Iron Man's already dead at this point.
She doesn't even break a sweat. She's just like, all right, let's do it. In like a high pitched voice and like,
She pushes
Can-do
Thor's
attitude.
hammer out of the way. Ooh, I don't like this, and just shoves it out of the way. Here goes the fighting cloud from Fighting Cloud a la
Oh, she also
80s
does
cartoons.
she does control squirrels in the same way that like Aquaman controls fish. So in any
In-
battle, when a fuck ton of squirrels would help you, she's there.
end
Yeah.
game when all of like the portals open up. It's just,
One of them opens
No. All of them open and it is exclusively squirrels. All the
billion
squirrels in the
squirrels.
universe just come flying out, and Thanos is like, I have no plan for this. I did not expect squirrels.
what do I do?
What do I do about the squirrels?
He's got his giant hammer just
Doesn't
swinging
matter,
around.
he's covered in
Doesn't
squirrels.
matter. There are 1 billion squirrels.
1 billion squirrels.
Covering
Good
your
luck,
body.
dumbass.
They are in your nose and mouth. The
I
squirrels.
cannot believe they don't do a remaster of the of Endgame with just squirrels.
Alternate
at the end.
timeline. That's what
How
Doctor
much video editing am I going to need to do? All the things open up.
It's just tons of
squirrels.
squirrels. She comes sauntering in. Hey guys.
Oh, chewing on something for sure because she's not paying attention because she's Squirrel Girl. Okay, so I had one that I absolutely loved since we're on the animal theme. This is crazy. Do you guys know that there is no game of this? Zootopia?
Well, what would the game even be like?
There's an animal city, and they didn't even bother because it was Disney Infinity time. So they had Disney Infinity. They did not want to cannibalize what is essentially a city with a bunch of Disney characters in it. But I think a Zootopia game, Grand Theft Auto was Zootopia. Duh. Different animals.
Okay.
Hello.
Come on. Can
Come
someone
on.
mod GTA 5
With Zootopia.
Okay,
with
but in that
Zootopia.
conceivable world, there's also Zootopia hookers. And I don't think I'm okay with that.
But you could also
Just be
play as a
rabbits.
Zootopia sloth, and when you hold it forward, it just doesn't move that much at all. And you're like, I like the gag, it's funny, but Jesus, I should not have picked sloth.
him.
This sucks.
No character
You
change
You
option.
choose fast travel, and it just moves him like 5 feet.
It does the little loading screen for
the whole
fast
thing.
travel, and then
You're just 5 feet ahead of
on
where
the
you
other
were.
side of the road. No,
I also
and it's 2 days later.
I also had this one I read. I don't know if you guys caught Die Hard. Oh, I would play a Die Hard video game, a very linear single player Die Hard game.
I could get behind that.
I could play Die Hard.
Linear single player Die Hard. Okay.
I have a bunch more, but I want to.
So let's see. I did okay. So I went like classic Disney route, kind of. Big Hero 6.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so listen.
Sick.
So look,
So
it's
cool.
perfect for a video game, but here's how I imagined it. Because when Disney came in and said to all these devs, make a game, they want canon stories, but like offshoot stories. Kind of how the Star Wars game was, right?
Yeah.
And so it's Big Hero 6. It's in, what's the city called? San Francisco.
San
Francisco.
San
Nice.
Francisco.
Nice.
And do you remember at the beginning how the kid was doing the robot fights?
Oh.
So you are...
Would that be like the Gwent of the game?
Yeah. No, you are...
We've been talking about Gwent.
You're a character in that world. So you're like kind of in the robot underworld, maybe like a teenager who's got a robot, and that's what the game is. You're finding parts for your robot, but you're going through. So I pictured it as a stealth action game because you're not allowed to make these robots, right? This is an illegal activity. So he's going through and kind of integrating with the storyline of Big Hero 6, but from the like behind the scenes type of situation. He's in the underground of San Francisco.
Tokyo.
I don't know. I have such a hard time with that one.
It's a mouthful.
San Francisco.
That's a lot.
And but like you can enter these robot fights and like upgrade your robot, get different parts, and essentially you're building a robot that's like your companion.
Yeah.
And it's a stealth game though. You're trying to infiltrate junkyards to go get places and the robotics facility to
Tight.
go get new parts.
Tight.
So that's my game.
I would love to explore that world a little bit more.
Right?
'Cause you
It
know
would,
there
it
has-
would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
They built a dope world.
Tokyo and San Francisco are pretty badass cities.
And there's not
Both
a big,
good cities.
Are they going to make a second one?
They have an animated series.
They brought
Oh.
it. They brought it up, and then it kind of just died. The rumor, it was like a rumor, and it kind of
Baymax
just
Returns is the series.
died. Yeah, but we need like another.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that'd
that
be tight.
world could be cool, right?
way cool.
Because it's kind of dark. It's not like super positive all the time, like Disney classically is. So I don't know. I think it'd be fun to like explore that world.
They might
Yep.
have to make like a Castro
Made
section,
by
which would
Ubisoft.
be fun.
Yeah.
So like really lots of F words.
Oh my god.
And like real dark and gritty.
Yeah.
And like some really questionable stuff happening.
someone rips off Baymax's head, and you're like, oh, the Ubisoft thing. Yeah.
Oh, it's Ubisoft.
Steph,
Okay,
what else you
that's
got?
fine.
I didn't know Disney. I mean, I guess I should own Buffy, and
That's on my
love
list.
Buffy.
I knew.
It's so good.
Everyone
and
would
there's
love
so much that you can do with it.
Yes.
There's so much, and like, let's bring back Buffy. I think she can be brought back.
How many monsters of the
Until
week
done.
you could build an entire
Forever.
game around?
Yes.
It'd be like Monster Hunter.
It'd be a Monster Hunter game.
Buffy.
And you could also incorporate,
Yes.
the school element, her like other life and having to do with that and deal with it. I think that would be a unique, because usually games are, I think superhero games never touch on that secret identity type of thing, and that'd be fun to explore in a game, having to play basically both sides, because that's a big part. I didn't watch that much Buffy, but that's a big part of the series, right? Is her
Yes.
having to maintain her real life while at the same time being off hunting, and I think that'd be tight to explore in a
She
game.
ends up dating a couple vampires, which is fun.
Right?
Yeah.
Very cool. Kind of risky.
Yes.
Yeah.
But,
interesting choice in guys.
I bet she felt very alive during those relationships. I wanted to do this. I will keep begging and begging and begging for this. Give me a Futurama or Simpsons video game again, please.
Like a good one. We need a good one.
I don't even need a good one.
No, we
The
need a good one.
Simpsons game on Xbox 360 was like it was like a 7 game, like a 7 out of 10. But for me, it was a 10 out of 10 because it was The Simpsons.
Because you love Simpsons.
The gameplay, if it had been anything else, I would have been like, this is the most dismissible game. But it was all the original voicing. Matt Groening actually wrote the plot, and he had a part in it. I thought it was really, really fun, and it was just nonstop fan service. So Simpsons is fun, but like Futurama, that game makes itself like it's an open world space type of game.
Or what about like Bob's Burgers?
That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
You
You can
play
do a
as
Bob's
one of the
Burger
kids.
like mobile game.
Yeah.
You
It
could
wouldn't be that big of a game,
You do
but
like
it would
Cooking
be-
Mama, but Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, Cooking Mama, but Bob's Burgers.
If you had like
and
his-
those voices,
if
the
you
whole
had
time.
the voices, that's all you'd need on your phone. You just hear,
Bobby.
Oh my god!
hey, that's
They
pretty
says
good.
all the
We did the
time.
whole thing. We did the whole family. And then
And what was I only played one Simpsons game ever. Was it?
probably Hit and Run,
Yeah, I think it was Hit and Run.
or those early arcade ones are dope. Those
The early,
beat 'em
I
ups.
did. Okay, I did play the early arcade one.
Yeah.
Do you throw donuts
Those
at
were
people in one of
good.
those games?
I think so. Yeah.
I was one of those kids not allowed to watch The Simpsons.
I wasn't either.
My
But
older brother and sister weren't, but youngest child syndrome. I get whatever I want.
parents stopped caring.
His
at
parents
some
don't give
point.
a shit anymore. There's no rules, and I can watch The Simpsons. It's tight. My brother and sister, they only got to watch channel 7 and 11, which was PBS and more PBS.
PBS 2.
It's just PBS 2. My last one on here is something that there are tons of games that I never heard of. Indiana Jones. It makes sense because it's LucasArts. They
Yeah.
were already prepped and primed and ready, and they pumped out a bunch of meh stinkers. Indiana Jones.
Well,
I think.
that was back in the era where every big movie
Had a game.
had a game, and most of them sucked.
But-
Wouldn't it just be Uncharted or Lara Croft though?
Yep. I think that's exactly how it would feel.
So-
But I think the fan service, I'd like.
But I
the
think I'd be in for that.
fan
I think
service.
I'd do an Indiana Jones game. They could make it different enough.
Do I think Indiana Jones is a more enjoyable character than Nathan Drake? Yes.
Oh, I disagree with that.
Well, the thing is,
He
there would
keeps
be
destroying all these amazing places and worlds.
there would
and
be less killing.
At least there's stuff left behind when Indiana Jones finds it.
I'm
Indiana
not a huge
Jones
Indiana
kills,
Jones
like,
fan. Don't.
a handful of people, a small
That's
handful
true.
of people.
And
Nathan
they're all
Drake is a
Nazis.
psychopath.
Nathan Drake should
It's not
be on
okay,
all
it's
the
not the
wanted lists.
people he's killing.
Zombies, though.
It's the
Like-
sheer
the
number of people.
quantity.
It's the quantity is obscene.
Okay, well, you get on that train, you have to talk about Marvel movies too, and
My God, so many people die. They just don't care. You know
so
what?
many people.
I can't deal with his Superman movies. He's always
it's
like throwing
ridiculous.
guys through a building, and he's like, "Yeah, fuck you," and he throws somebody through a $2 billion building where people are in, and Superman's like, "No, I don't care about you.
You're
I'm
like,
saving you.
dude.
Don't you get it? Sit down and be saved."
Clark, take this fight over the ocean or something.
Anywhere
Take
except
it to the
Metropolis,
mountains.
literally the most populous city
No,
on the
middle of the
planet,
city.
and we're gonna fight in the middle of it.
Zod must die
somehow.
here and now.
Yeah.
It's not like 98% of the planet has no humans on it, and you can fight there. It's like we're fighting in the biggest city I
I
can
need
find.
everybody to see
It's
this.
not like you can fly out of the city in literal seconds. You're fighting in the
right
city.
here. Throw him through a building.
Fuck you, Superman, you asshole.
Dice of destiny.
Sorry about the
That
long
one
delay.
still makes me
I
laugh.
was going to play the real one. but
We
I was
have a
like,
real one.
Here, we'll let Steph
Yeah.
judge which one she likes more. Here.
Dice of destiny.
Dice.
I don't. There's not even a question. This is the winner.
I thought you were going to say there's not even a difference. I can't tell them apart. Did you just play the same clip twice?
JD's computer died, and so we just did it like that.
Just did it
And
live.
it was so funny.
We're going to do it live.
Doing it anyway.
All right, Dice of Destiny is this awesome game we play at the end of every episode in which we roll a 20-sided dice with 20 different game genres on it. We roll a 6-sided dice to determine how much money you can spend, and then finally we roll a dice to see who has to play a game, find a game for that price, buy it, and review it. Peterson last week rolled a space game for less than $15, and you chose.
So I got really lucky.
Wait,
because
you haven't... Oh, you don't...
I picked.
Okay.
I got really lucky because a game that's been on my wish list for a while now, almost a year probably, went on sale. Normally $40. It was on sale for $13.59.
Stupid sale.
Ooh.
BattleTech. I believe Aaron talked about BattleTech
Yeah,
briefly.
he did. I was just gonna say, I think I've heard of it.
But I am dying to play this game. It's a mech game, but it's also like a turn-based tactical mech game. So I love turn-based.
Yep.
So I'm in. I got it. I got it for under $15. So I'm going to be playing BattleTech and reviewing that, and I'm actually really excited to play it.
Tight. On the way out, Steph, tell us where, and tell our listeners where they can find your podcast, where they can find you guys.
Cutscenes and Cupcakes, available on Spotify, Stitcher, all of the Apple Podcasts, whatever that one is. We have an awesome season 3 planned out, so we'd love to see you there. We're also on Instagram, Cutscenes and Cupcakes, and Twitter, Cutscene Cupcake.
Cutscene Cupcake.
Yes, come find us.
The cupcakes.
No.
Don't do that.
No, we've talked about
outta
this,
here.
you guys.
Get out.
No.
Not cupcakes.
It's not 1950.
So
Get your hands off my ass.
Peterson!
Come here, cupcake.
Come here, cupcake! Oh my god. I'm JD, logging off.
This is Peterson going AFK.
This is Steph. Go eat some cupcakes.
Peterson Productions. Oh, yeah.